In the times of Gautam Buddha, there lived a very famous and a very beautiful woman whose name was Amarapali. She was prostitute, but she was so beautiful that there were always golden chariots standing at the gate of her palace. Even great kings had to wait to meet her. She had become so rich that she could purchase kingdoms, but deep down she suffered a lot. In that beautiful body, there was also a beautiful soul, which anchored for true love. People called her Nagarvadhu, which means the wife of the whole town. One day she was standing on her terrace. Just then she saw a young Buddhist monk who had nothing but just a begging bowl, but he had a tremendous presence, awareness, and grace. The moment she saw him, she was fascinated by his charm. She rushed down to him and said, "Oh monk, please accept my food at my home." The monk accepted her invitation. While serving him food, Amarapali said, "After 3 days, a rainy season is going to begin, and I invite you to stay in my house for 4 months. Usually Buddhist monks don't move for 4 months when it is the rainy season. Those are the 4 months they stay in one place. While for 8 months, they continuously move. Normally they can't stay more than 3 days in one place." Young monk replied, "I will ask my master. If he permits, then I will come." After saying this, he left. From there, before young monk could reach assembly, his fellow monks who saw all this rushed to Buddha and said, "Young monk has to be stopped. Amarapali has invited him to her house to live for 4 months. And a monk staying in a prostitute's house, it is not right." Buddha said to them, "Keep quiet, let him come." Young monk came, touched Buddha's feet, and told him the whole story. He said, "Lord, a woman has invited me to stay for 4 months of rainy season in her house. Every monk will be staying somewhere in somebody's house for 4 months. I too will have to stay somewhere for 4 months. Therefore, I need your permission to go there and stay. I shall go only if you permit." Buddha looked into his eyes and said, "You can stay." It was shocking for all the other monks. Thousands of monks who were there could not believe that Buddha has allowed a monk to stay in a prostitute's house. And all monks stood up and said, "This is not right. This man is hiding a fact. He is saying a woman has invited him, but in fact Amarapali has invited him. She is a prostitute. How can he stay in a prostitute's house for 4 months?" Buddha said, "I know. And because he has not used the word prostitute, I am allowing him to stay there. He has respect for her." Anyways, after 3 days, young monk left to stay with the Amarapali, and other monks started gossiping. Buddha said to them, "You should keep silent. 4 months will pass, and I trust my monk. I have looked into his eyes, there was no desire. If a monk's meditation is deep, then he will change prostitute. And if his meditation is not deep, then prostitute may change him. It is now a question between meditation and physical attraction." Just wait for 4 months. Despite this, disciples thought, Buddha is trusting too much. That man is too young, and Amarapali is too beautiful. He is taking an unnecessary risk. Anyways, 4 months passed, and after 4 months, young monk came and touched Buddha's feet. Following him came Amarapali. She too touched Buddha's feet and said, "Oh Lord, I tried my best to seduce this young monk, but it was all useless. Instead, he convinced me by his awareness that real life is only knowing your true self. Now I want to give all my possessions to the commune of your monks." And it is said that later, Amarapali became one of the enlightened woman monks among Buddha's disciples. If we see in our lives, then we will find that often sexual thoughts start to arise in our mind, and we get indulged in fulfilling our desire. Sometimes people even start masturbating to satisfy their lust, but no matter how much you satisfy the sex drive, it is never satisfied. Semen is regarded as the vital energy of the body, which should not be wasted. By conserving it, we can potentially achieve significant progress and success in various aspects of life. However, it is also important to note that the right way to control a sexual desire is not to simply suppress it. Suppression can also lead to other problems like mental stress or physical side effects. Instead, the emphasis should be on redirecting the energy behind sexual desire. As per yogic science, every one of us has sexual energy in our body. In a normal human, this sexual energy flows downwards, due to which sexual desires arises within us. But by practicing meditation for a long time, gradually this sexual energy starts rising upwards, and then it is transmuted into a spiritual energy, which is also called ojas. Ojas is a spiritual energy which is stored up in the brain. A man who has a great deal of ojas in his brain can turn out immense mental works. He is very intelligent. He has a magnetic aura on his face. He can influence people by speaking a few words. A short speech of his produces a tremendous impression on the minds of the hearers. Gautam Buddha, Paramhansa Yoganand, Swami Vivekananda and Raman Maharishi are few examples of such great personalities. Therefore, if you want to free your mind from thoughts of lust, then always remember that if your meditation is strong and if your thoughts are pure, then by ascending your sexual energy into spiritual energy, you can not only control your lust, but to also achieve both spiritual and material success in your life.